The moment a man chooses the crown over his conscience, he doesn't lose his soul all at once. He auctions it slowly, one decision at a time, until the person he used to be is just a stranger he passes in the mirror. The night Daniel Ashford was inaugurated as governor of Caldwell State, the sky cracked open and rain swallowed the streets whole. The elders in the crowd whispered it was a warning from the earth itself. Daniel smiled through the downpour and waved at the cameras. He didn't believe in warnings then. 3 years later, he wished he had. It was 11:43 p.m. when Marcus Hale dropped the folder on Daniel's desk like it weighed nothing, like it was a man's life pressed between two cardboard covers. "Sign it tonight," Marcus said. Before morning, Daniel didn't touch it. Marcus Hale was the architect of everything Daniel had become, the strategist, the fixer, the man behind every door Daniel had ever walked through. Without Marcus, there was no campaign, no victory speech, no mahogany desk, no power. With Marcus, there was always a price. What's in it? Daniel asked, even though some part of him already knew. An executive order. Denying retrial petition for Jerome Ellis. Marcus loosened his tie like the conversation bored him. Execution is in 32 days. The name hit Daniel somewhere deep. Jerome Ellis, 51 years old, death row. Convicted 23 years ago for the murder of businessman Raymond Aldridge, son of Senator Gerald Aldridge, the most powerful political figure in the state and the single largest donor to Daniel's re-election campaign. New evidence had surfaced 6 months ago. A DNA report. A key witness who had recanted, confessing she'd been pressured to lie. A security log that destroyed the original timeline entirely. Jerome Ellis might be innocent, and Daniel held the pen that would bury him anyway. The Aldridge family wants closure, Marcus said. Senator Aldridge wants this finished before the election cycle. You signed this, the endorsement holds. 4 million stays in the war chest. We win in November by 15 points. And if I don't sign, Marcus smiled the smile of a man who had never lost. Then we find out how much your conscience is worth on the open market. Daniel opened the folder. Inside, clipped to the legal document, was something Marcus hadn't put there. His aide had accidentally attached it days ago, and Daniel had never removed it. A photograph, a young woman, maybe mid-20s, standing outside a courthouse holding a brown folder to her chest like it was a child. Her eyes were looking directly at the camera, not with despair, but with something more devastating. Hope. Her name was Amara Ellis, Jerome's daughter. She was 4 years old when they took her father away. She had grown up writing him letters every single week for 23 years, and he had kept every single one, bound with rubber bands in a shoebox under his prison cot. She was a primary school teacher now. She still believed her father was coming home. Daniel stared at that photograph for a long time. You were on the original prosecution team, Daniel said quietly. The room temperature dropped. Marcus didn't move. Who told you that? I read. Marcus. Late nights, old case files. You were junior counsel in 2001. Daniel finally looked up. Was the conviction clean? What passed across Marcus Hale's face in that moment was not guilt. Men like Marcus had long since surgically removed guilt. It was something colder. Calculation. The conviction was what it needed to be, Marcus said. 4 seconds of silence. Then Daniel understood. Fully. Completely. The way a man understands something he can never know. Get out of my office. Daniel, get out. Marcus straightened his jacket. You're about to burn everything we built, over one man, one case. One folder, one life, Daniel corrected. You'll lose the election, then I'll lose it. You'll lose more than that. Daniel stood. Marcus. He kept his voice even, the way a man speaks when he has finally decided something and the deciding is done. I said get out. Marcus left. Daniel sat alone for a long time. He thought about his daughter, Zoe, 8 years old, gap-toothed, obsessed with justice the way only children can be, absolutely, without compromise, without politics. She had asked him recently, curled against his side at bedtime, Daddy, do good people always do the right thing? He had kissed her forehead and said, they try, baby. He had believed it, then, as a comfortable thing to say. Now he needed to believe it as something to live. He picked up his phone, called his private attorney. Pull everything on Jerome Ellis, he said. Every document, every filing, every piece of evidence new and old, and get me the contact for his legal team by sunrise. He closed the folder without signing it. He placed Amara's photograph on top. The fallout arrived before breakfast. Senator Aldridge withdrew his endorsement by 7 a.m. Two major donors followed by noon. A political blog ran the headline, Governor Ashford faces severe career repercussions over death row convict. Marcus's resignation letter arrived by courier, elegant, vicious, and carefully designed to imply everything without stating anything. The machine, true to its nature, stopped caring about Daniel Ashford. But 26 days later, the State Conviction Review Board, placed under sudden, intense public scrutiny, agreed to conduct a full hearing on the Jerome Ellis case. Daniel wasn't in the Capitol when the news broke. He was in a classroom in the East Side District, sitting in a tiny plastic chair, reading folktales to a group of 7-year-olds who had never once cared what his approval rating was. His phone lit up on the table beside him. He glanced at the screen, read the headline, set the phone face down, and kept reading to the children. He didn't know if Jerome Ellis would go free. Justice, real justice, not the performance of it, was never fast and never guaranteed. There were no clean endings, no ceremony for doing what you should have done from the beginning. But driving home that evening, through streets that still remembered the rain from his inauguration night, Daniel Ashford felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years behind that desk. Not power, something older than power. He thought of Amara Ellis, still carrying her brown folder. He thought of Zoe, waiting for a real answer. Good people try, baby. This time, he had. The crown is loud. The conscience is quiet, but only one of them stays with you when everything else is gone. If this story moved you, you're in the right place. Welcome to Gaudy's Folktale Lessons, where every story teaches something real. Subscribe and stay. The next lesson is already waiting for you.